Last week on the Poisonrana Patreon, we talked all about the greatest matches from the Motor City Machine Guns in an all-new episode of Best Match Ever.
Sabin, then, he loves spitting, this guy. Spits in his hands and then rubs the saliva all over Mark's face. It's something I noticed in a lot of these matches. These guys love spitting.
Again, they're assholes.
Blowing their snot on people.
When they're bad guys, when they're heels, they love to do the nasty classic stuff. And I think they don't get the appreciation of being like, because everyone thinks of the fast cruiserweight, X Division, high flyers, they're so exciting, good guys, baby faces. But when they're bad guys, they're so like cheeky and mean, and I always appreciated it. But this was hilarious. Poor Mark Briscoe, he probably liked it. That sicko. Just getting spit rubbed in your face.
Maybe.
Get this show plus NXT retro reviews, wrestling reviews, movie reviews, and so much more over at patreon.com/poisonrana. And it's only $5. So what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT. You found us at postwrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever podcast app you're using. And of course,
we are live on youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, Postmarks. How are you doing?
Hello, Postmarks out there. It's Tuesday, September 24th, 10:20 p.m. A few minutes late there.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday. We're here to talk about some NXT, and you know why? Because we're your NXT friends. And we'll always be your NXT friends as we move towards the CW network and say goodbye to the USA network.
The final episode of NXT on the USA.
Leave the memories alone. What a journey
it's been. 5 whole years
of
the USA network.
Yeah. Just think of all the great memories. They'll discuss them on the show. They had a great little video we'll get into. Just think all those years on the USA network.
And if you have your memories, leave them in the chat. Tell us.
Yeah.
Remind us. What did you enjoy from the USA network run of NXT?
Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
2.0.
Yes. There was good stuff.
There was lots of good stuff too. Yes, of course. But we're going into the new era starting next week. Their debut in Chicago in an arena. And then the week after that in St. Louis, Missouri, also in an arena. So the CW starting off strong, 2 packed weeks the next 2 Tuesdays. And you know you will find us here on those Tuesdays, 10:15 p.m. Eastern, right after NXT on the CW debuts. We will be here live on Post Wrestling, talking all about it. Giulia, Roxanne, and so much more. It's 2 weeks of stacked shows. They're really building this. They're really pushing it. They're treating it like a big deal. And NXT has been on fire lately, so it feels good. It feels like it's a I guess, pardon the 2.0 pun, but a new fresh coat of paint.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing any kind of aesthetic changes we get next week. I assume we get a new theme. I assume we get a new. Obviously, we're going to be in an arena, so we kind of won't know the change of set until we're back in the PC.
Yeah.
Do we get a new logo? Like we have with SmackDown and I assume Raw when we go to Netflix.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to all the changes.
New theme song?
I would think so.
Maybe that's what Sexy Red is going to do on the second Tuesday. Maybe she's like, hey, maybe
that makes a whole lot of sense.
Maybe she's got a song.
Sexy Red's going to be the theme of NXT.
It's possible. I mean, Meg Thee Stallion on SmackDown, right?
I guess so, maybe.
Never know. But yeah, lots of things changing with wrestling and WWE. And I feel like we have to wait here in Canada till January for Netflix.
Yes.
Right. So once that happens here in Canada, we get to watch everything on Netflix, whereas America's differences and stuff like that. But it'll be a whole lot easier for us to watch, which I'm actually so excited about.
No more VPNs.
I mean, yeah, we could. What else do we use them for? Really, I use it for when we do podcasts. That's it.
we won't really need it much,
but it protects your data.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
It does.
It's also good, but or like torrent because we're old. We still do that sometimes. I mean, maybe I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. As a Canadian, we're gonna be able to watch everything on one thing. But very excited for the Netflix move. It's definitely futuristic here. But yes, we're gonna dive into some NXT, but. We are Braden and Davie. We are up next, but we're also known as Poisonrana. And you should search that in your podcast app and social media because you should give us a follow and check out all the other podcasts that we do because just this past Sunday, Davie and I, we did a show talking all about AEW, some Grand Slam predictions. We're excited about tomorrow's show, plus everything else going on with Cody and Roman meeting at the football
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool segment and all the other stuff going on. So we do a free show every week. So go check that out. Plus a new Detox dropped with Jordan and I talking mad silliness. And then there's a What Up Doe, B Detroit and John Cena talking about some wrestling and some pop culture. And I know we'll have a new Eagles Don't Hunt Flies soon. So lots and lots of free shows, including Shot in the Dark. So search Poisonrana, give us a subscribe, give us a follow, and check out all the free content that we do because we talk a lot about other stuff, not just upNXT and NXT.
So much about wrestling, so much else as well. Yeah,
a
lot of wrestling going on always, but a lot of other stuff. We just released we're about to release our Behind the BDE. We recorded it just before doing upNXT.
That's the deep patrons. Those are for the hardcores, the sickos, if you will. Our family member World Champ patrons on our Patreon, and I'll tell you right now, it's a doozy. So sign up now, and you'll also be able to. Pick stuff for us to review that we do in the future. We recently reviewed Jason Takes Manhattan as selected by Justin, which was a whole lot of fun. So look for that. On the wrestling front over on the Patreon, we just covered best match ever, Motor City Machine Guns. Lots of talk about them coming into WWE, possibly NXT. So we thought we'd give you a little refresher course on the Guns. And we went through with this awesome playlist of their best matches. We rate, review them, chat about them, and we sung the praises of the Murder City Machine Guns.
Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, pointing to the sign.
Yes.
Detroit's finest. This was a really fun show, nerding out about some TNA wrestling, which we don't talk about too much. Some old Ring of Honor, the Briscoes, Generation Me, Jeremy and Max Buck, plus Beer Money in there, some New Japan.
Dean Generico.
Yeah, some really good stuff. So that was an awesome podcast. But this week, boy, do we have some shows lined up for you coming up because we have episode 2 of The Champ is Here. If you haven't already checked out our first episode, we put it out on this very free feed like a month ago where we looked at the history. We're going to go through each John Cena title win. And this time around, we're looking at his second title win, which is from Edge. So we're going to be looking at John Cena winning the title back, and then kind of his reign, his WrestleMania.
Kind of 3 major feuds here. It's the Edge feud, it's the Triple H feud, and then the Van Dam feud.
Yeah, from 06. So we're going to be joined by Jordan Goodman, who so happened to be at the live sex celebration in 2006 live in Baltimore. So he's going to join us for this. And then also another guest, Maddie Edwards from Grapple. We've had him on to chat about, if I'm not mistaken,
Stephanie
McMahon in a weird time.
We get him for all the good stuff.
Yeah, we get him for the fun, juicy WWE stuff. I think this is going to be one hell of a hilarious show. But looking at the history of John Cena. So this is for all patrons later this week.
Yeah, I can't wait. Really enjoyed doing the first show. I don't think this one's going to be quite as mammoth.
No.
We kind of went from John Cena's, when he was conceived right through to his first title win, it felt with that first episode. But it's like, in the movies, you get part 1, you get all the exposition out the way. Part 2, the sequel, we can get right in with the action. Right. And that's what we're doing here, literally with the live sex celebration.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I've not watched this in a long, long time. And watching it back today
it's not very good. Spoilers.
No,
it's not great.
Kind of bad timing.
Age well. And we've got the Vince doc coming out tonight.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But it wasn't good because then I had to scrub through Backlash 2006. And I'm trying to get to John Cena versus Triple H versus Edge, the main event. But when I was scrubbing through to get to the main event, I go past Shawn Michaels and God versus Vince and Shane, and then Vince and this horrific segment with Candice Michelle that again did not age very well. But yeah, somehow we're going to tie this around. It's all about John Cena. We're trying to celebrate the title wins of John Cena, and we're going to do this every month for the next so few months. So many of these shows to come, but episode 2 dropping on our podcast Patreon. And if that's not enough for you, because Bad Blood is back, we thought, why don't we talk about some OG Bad Blood? Blood is thicker than water, and we're going to be talking about next week Bad Blood 1997.
Yeah, talking about another wonderful human being and the debut of Kane.
Yep.
Sure do pick him.
Yeah, we love to separate the art from the artists here
Sure.
at upNXT and Poisonrana. But yeah, lots and lots of podcasts. You can check them out, patreon.com/Poisonrana. It's $5 to become a friend. Whole month's access to all these shows and everything else that we've done. We do a lot of shows, and we like to keep you entertained on those long drives,
Absolutely.
lonely nights,
Yeah.
whatever it takes. We're there for you always. But yes, lots and lots of content that we're putting out, and we appreciate all the love out there and the support that we're getting. So appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
We also have merch, which is a big day for Poisonrana heads. If you're a real Poison pal, if you're a day oneer here at upNXT, this is definitely for you. We'll get to NXT, but we have some crazy news. As you know, we started a little conglomeration with Dickie Bird. Conglomeration, yeah.
Although we're glamorous as well.
Yeah, maybe I just created something. I don't know. We started with like a merch. We have our own merch on chop-tees.com, and it's been pretty awesome in the last like year or so. Dickie Bird has put together an awesome website for us to sell our merch, whether it's Poisonrana hats and t-shirts and all sorts of fun stuff. But he keeps one-upping himself. He's created Poisonrana button-up shirts for the summertime and matching shorts. We looked like I'm in my shorts right now. I'm in my shorts right now.
I'm showing my knees.
Yeah, watch out.
But these shorts are so comfy.
Yeah,
these are my podcast shorts now. I know they don't match the shirt I'm wearing right now, but they're so comfy.
The live feed's getting a crazy angle.
Sweaty days sitting on these leather chairs.
So like this guy is helped us create like some pretty fun merch that some of you listeners have bought and sent in photos, and please continue to send them in. But now Dickie has completely gone even past that. For this upcoming fall/winter time, we are going to have limited edition Poisonrana varsity jackets. Oh my goodness.
I mean, look at this.
Look at this.
Wow. Genuine leather sleeves, Melton wool body. I don't even know what Melton is, but it sounds
sexy.
Great. Knitted cuffs, waist collar, 60,000 embroidery stitches. It sounds like we're like the Elimination Chamber, 10 tons of solid steel chain wrapping round, quilted inner lining. These things are absolutely beautiful, modeled by Dickie Bird himself in this picture. And wow. This is fantastic. And you can pre-order this right now. The Poisonrana varsity jacket is now available for pre-order. Jackets officially launch early November, but will be very limited in supply. So pre-ordering gives you an opportunity to secure your desired size. Once the jackets are launched, it's first come, first serve. So don't miss out.
I mean, yeah, he's gone insane with these ones. He's done it again because these look so proper, so fire. Shout out any longtime Poisonrana fans and everyone out there. This is definitely for you. We're only going to have limited editions, and then that's it. So it's so cool that we were able to do this. So I know we're going to be rocking up to full gear in November, New York, rocking our varsity Poisonrana.
Oh yeah,
we're going to look. Sino said we're going to look like the what did he say? What's that movie? Warriors. Yeah, all our matching jackets. We're gonna look like a football team going in there. But really excited about this. See, Dickie, you killed it again because every little bit of merch is so cool. And again, love seeing all the support and people rocking it and buying it from like all over the world. We have people buying it from all these different countries, sending pictures of the toques, the hats, the shirts, and everything. So this is another Poisonrana collectible that I can't wait to wear personally.
The great thing is as well, if you pre-order this jacket, you are guaranteed only a limited supply of these are being made. And if you pre-order, you get 10% off, which brings the cost down pretty nicely. So go to chop-tees.com/Poisonrana pre-order for your chance to get one. And, they're incredibly rare. So get them. And these are super, super high quality. So they're going to last a long, long time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely excited about this, and it's so cool. So again, appreciate all the support and people rocking our merch and going to wrestling shows, wearing it and stuff. This is definitely going to be one of those things. So what happened? Did you try?
The camera's just all over the place. I'm trying to. We look like we're sinking in a ship.
Oh, what did you do?
I'm going to let you talk for a little bit. Talk more about this wonderful jacket.
Yeah. Again, go support us. chop-tees.com/Poisonrana to see all the other merch that we got up there as well, like t-shirts and everything. But it's crazy. We've had one hell of a year, and we can't do it. We're independent podcasters who do things out of our house, as you can see, and every little bit helps. And anytime people are rocking our t-shirts and stuff, like
help us buy a new tripod for our camera.
Yeah, which
I'm trying to upgrade things, and we look pretty nice, but this new camera I've got doesn't quite fit the tripod. So we're in HD, but we're a little wonky.
That's all right.
Which sums up my life.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, again, thanks everyone, and check out the jacket. Thank you, Dickie, as well, because it looks fucking tight.
It looks great.
Looks sick.
What else is going on?
Not so much. So we got Grand Slam tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have a few friends over to watch that. You're gonna do a show.
I'm doing a show Thursday at 3 p.m. If you haven't subscribed to Poison Rana, please do. Search Poison Rana wherever you get your podcasts.
So you're going live on YouTube at Thursday?
I'll be going live youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod Thursday at 3 p.m. with B Detroit, co-host of What Up Doe on our very network, to talk all about Grand Slam. I think we'll hopefully try and at least catch the first episode of the Vince doc, so we can talk a little bit about that. I'm sure by the time next Tuesday rolls round, we'd have probably watched the whole thing, and can certainly give our thoughts on that on upNXT next week. And just anything else going on in the world of wrestling.
Absolutely. So lots and lots of pods. Again, follow us for all the updates of everything that we do, but we love to podcasts.
Yeah.
We never stop stopping. We got Bad Blood. We got Grand Slam. The wrestling never seems to stop, of course. So I'm pretty hyped for Grand Slam tomorrow. I feel like there's a lot of matches that are really gonna hit. I'm hoping for it at least. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to Punk and Drew in a Hell in a Cell. I hope that goes I
mean, I'm really excited for this Hell in a Cell because now did you get a chance to catch any Raw?
No, I saw some clips and I didn't see anything from Punk.
It was pretty good. It was Drew essentially cutting a very similar promo to Punk from last week, where it's like, look, we've done all the fighting and stuff now. He's saying the same thing, like his family are telling him not to step in the cell, but makes the same promise that he will make Punk bleed. So we've pretty much got blood guaranteed. I think this could be, I hope, could be one of the most violent Hell in a Cells we've had for quite a while, since they kind of, put the ban on blood and that kind of thing. Now, the question is, does it main event? Because word on the street is that the Atlanta boys, Cody and Roman, are going to be headlining the show. In which case, where do you put the Hell in a Cell match?
Second to last. If
Second to last?
If that's the case, either could be the main event of that show, no doubt. But I completely forgot that makes sense with Cody Roman. Like the reactions, every little thing they do are going to get big reactions. So maybe it does make sense to have that as the main event. As silly as it is, like they've done that already this year with having the tag main event, right? With Bloodline stuff and Cody and everything.
I mean, it's Roman. He headlines.
Exactly. So,
but it's Hell in a Cell as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of agree with the tag main eventing.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, I think it's still the biggest thing. Like it's Roman.
I mean, they're the biggest characters for sure. It's your two main guys teaming up. We talked a lot on Sunday about their rivalry, and kind of this is the generational rivalry right now is Cody and Roman. So it does make sense. I can maybe see the Hell in a Cell third to get a little bit of a buffer maybe between the main. I don't know. I wonder if we get anything added, because we had the main event of Raw last night, which was Jey Uso and Bron Breakker, with Jey Uso actually winning the title.
Crazy.
In Jay's been a weird one because I've loved the whole I've loved his whole journey, you know, with, you know, the original feud with Roman back in those pandemic days, right through to him joining the bloodline, to him leaving the bloodline, to how over he's got when you think he was a guy like, which one's Jimmy, which one's Jay for the longest time, and how he's broken out as a single star. That being said, never been too into his actual singles matches. I think they've lacked something. I thought this was great. I'm such a fan of Bron Breakker right now. I just think he's the complete package, and he's so exciting to watch. His like explosiveness and speed is just ridiculous. And I thought it made for a really fun match. It almost had sort of that, almost kind of like that Brock Goldberg Mania 33 match, which before they just started spamming the moves and stuff, you know, just like chaos and a lot going on. I thought it was a really fun main event. And with Jay winning and Bron also being an Atlanta boy, I wonder if we get a rematch added to the pay-per-view.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I think it is kind of right to give Jay a title shot. Sorry, an actual title reign.
Right.
But also, I kind of saw Bron having quite a long reign with this.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we do a quick thing and it could maybe tie into Bloodline stuff with obviously them all being under one roof.
Sure. Right. Okay.
With the tag main event.
Yeah.
And whether that's a way you can get the Tongans maybe costing Jay or something. And that's starting the path of getting him back with the original Bloodline for Survivor Series.
For War Games.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that will be breaking the general trend we've had recently of these B pay-per-views being a 5-match card. But I just wonder when they like announced Breakker last night, I'm like, oh, okay, he's from Atlanta as well. And a bit of a surprising title switch.
Yeah, I feel like Breakker maybe hasn't hit as much as I thought he would on the main roster. Like some of the big, I think the Sammy matches was a big test, and I felt like both of them didn't.
I personally enjoyed this more than the Sammy ones.
Okay.
But I also wonder if they're kind of doing a little thing. We saw them do it in NXT where you're incredible, but you're young and you've made mistakes. Like I think him losing that first Ciampa match, and then when he lost to Ziggler, right? Whether it's something like it's. I don't see this being a concern. Him losing the title. I still
love him. But I think he's
going a lot with him.
Yeah, I just feel like his matches were better, like in NXT. Some of them, and then like I feel like the ones I have watched. I didn't watch last night, but I'm happy that Jay wins. I think that's pretty cool. Only a few people in that family like he follows like the family heritage of the IC title stuff. Like the guy was crying. Yeah. After winning the title, like it was a big deal for him.
The crowd were like crazy.
It's a big thing.
Great
like,
entrance and everything.
He's been a really over character. So whether it was like an audible, like, nah, let's just give it to him. Let's go with it. Because there's been like so much people behind him. So I definitely like agree with that. It's just like Braun is like, what do we do? Like, do you eventually have him go for a bigger title? Or
I can see him and Punk being pretty soon. Punk teased it on NXT.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So I can see that being a thing maybe. Because once this Drew match is done, that's it. For that, I'd assume. And then
if Punk survives the cell,
then you think Punk maybe going for the title at Mania makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So I could see Braun being like the stopgap feud there.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
And then you had more of the Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman stuff.
This is what I saw.
So much fun.
That video, like where they're Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Now we reviewed a Last Man Standing match recently, didn't we?
There was
week. What was it we talked about?
There was Trick and Pete like a few weeks ago.
Right. Okay.
On NXT.
Which we both agreed we're not particularly fans of.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be great. Though,
okay.
Because I think it's just going to be stunts and carnage.
Big guy stuff.
Probably the ring exploding. It would be cool if there was something other than that. But I think they've done a great job with these two, with this sort of thing.
Just that video made you like, it was so well done. It looked like, I don't know who did it, but we need like, I need to find out. They looked like Godzilla's, and then their face changes and everything. Like that was really well done.
It's definitely been a highlight of Raw for me. We brought it up on Sunday's show, how we'd kind of like to see, and we'll get into them, the Lucha Brothers maybe on SmackDown, and you have Raw being the meaty men. And something we didn't talk about on Sunday is Miro requesting his release. And I think Miro fits into that meaty men division on Raw pretty nicely.
Does he? I don't know. Does he even want to wrestle? Like,
if he wants to wrestle.
I feel like I'm so over that guy. Like,
fair.
I've been over that guy. Like, I feel like his AEW run was a bust. I feel like he had one good match. 2, if you count that arcade thing.
The TNT title reign was good.
I forgot about it.
It was pretty good. But yeah, he's been, I mean, I get the sense it's mainly on him not wanting to do that there, but I'm saying there is a division that he'd slot into on Raw. And then there was a tease where it could be interpreted as the Viking Raiders, because it's kind of that imagery, but also P, R, and F seem to be the letters.
Was that an F or was that an A for Alex Abrahantes?
Oh God. So yeah, kind of weird because we saw reported that Lucha Brothers have signed a multi-year deal, and then it came out that they haven't, and that they're still under contract.
But however, today, Ray Phoenix posting on Instagram earlier today, blessed wrestling, thank for everything. And he posted a bunch of photos with him and Penta from AEW. So leading a lot to believe that maybe this is some sort of, hey, we're done.
So I wonder, could that thing yesterday on Raw, like the little video tease, it could be for both in a way. Like,
that'd be a sick match.
If we don't, it's just we're promoting the Viking Raiders. If it is, we're promoting.
They've been injured. Remember the guy Ivar was on.
Like Eric's been Eric.
I fucking hate their fucking name so much.
Eric's been injured a while.
Eric.
But then Ivar got injured recently. So it could be them. But yeah, you could totally use this to tease the Lucha Brothers, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on Sunday talking about how will Triple H just put them in the LWO.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this post on Instagram, it's making me think like, hey, maybe they are gone. And again, I can't wait to see if they show up in WWE. Machine Guns, Lucha Bros. We mentioned Steen and Generico. Would like to see that again. There's lots and lots. DIY Lucha Bros.
The only thing is, it looks like New Day are splitting up, which I'd kind of let's get the match first.
Wait. Tag team wrestling's coming back, guys. Yeah. Let's hold on a second.
But yeah, like exciting if they're showing up. But also on Raw, I've really enjoyed the Xavier Woods stuff. I think he's been excellent, and I think they've
got thrown a curveball for sure.
Yeah, and I think they've actually handled it really well, because even on Raw yesterday with Woods being like, okay, like Kofi saying, hey, I've made some mistakes recently, and you read between the lines, brought in Odyssey Jones, and he is not here anymore.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing a pretty nice job of building this up, and it's similar to what they've done with a lot of their characters recently, where you understand, if it is Woods turning heel, you understand his frustrations and why he's got to that point. And it's not necessarily I hated you all along and you held me back. It's genuine. We haven't won a championship for 3 years, and we haven't done anything since Biggie left. And these genuine frustrations, which I think they're building that up really nice. And I think Kofi and Woods obviously have such a great chemistry where it comes across very believable, I found. So for me, like last night, but just in general, kind of, Bronson Reed, New Day, they've kind of been having my attention on Raw, as well as like, your major feuds with Judgment Day and Punk and Drew.
Yeah. And then Dom, it's not quite custody of Dom, but he's being put in.
He's in a shark cage.
A shark cage. We love our shark cages here at upNXT. And if you don't know what we're talking about, first of all, we celebrate Shark Week every year. Second of all, we've done a best match ever shark cage match a few years ago, which if you haven't listened to is very niche. It's just us talking about shark cage matches.
So have you seen Patreon have a new feature?
What is it?
Where we can sell individual episodes for a price. Okay. So I suggest best match ever shark cage, 50 cents.
Wow.
Go and have a listen.
I mean, if you subscribe $5 a month, it basically adds up to like pennies per podcast.
Yes.
Already.
Yeah.
But
it's a better deal to just become a patron. But 50 cents, we can tell you about the history of shark cages.
Paul Ellering, all over that thing.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
he's in it a lot.
He always shows up. He's always haunting my dreams, that old man in leather.
I'm doing it right now. I'm selling
right,
it. I'm selling this post.
I think Bad Blood will be pretty good. I'm liking a lot of
stuff. It must be at least $3 or higher. Guys, just sign up to our Patreon.
Yeah.
$5.
Not worth it. We'll make it one. We'll start making behind the BDEs like $50.
Ooh.
Things that'll get us canceled. But I do think Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, the new power trip main event in Atlanta.
What do you call their team? I've seen loads of different
Tribal Nightmare.
The Tribal Nightmare
that comes to mind.
There's
that's probably it.
Cody Reigns, Roman Rhodes.
That's weird.
Roman Rhodes is good.
I'd be Roman Rhodes.
Oh, Romans invented the roads, didn't they?
Romans invented roads?
The Roman civilization.
Yeah.
Not Roman Reigns.
Yeah. No, I followed that.
Invented roads.
Holy shit. You're lying.
And aqueducts, I think, but that doesn't have quite as good a
I think I'm going with Tribal Nightmare.
Tribal Nightmare?
Yeah.
The American
Put
Chiefs.
it on a shirt.
The American Chiefs.
American Chiefs. There might be an issue with that in Kansas City. I'm not sure, but Tribal Nightmare, like they'd put fucking dude would eat that up.
Tribal Nightmare.
People would love that shit. People are buying OTC shirts. They'll fucking buy anything.
The word is apparently Tonga Hikuleo might be reporting to NXT.
Bring them all. Just bring. I don't know.
No, but not to main roster.
Right.
Which was the thought, because we've known he's left New Japan and stuff.
Okay,
so, potentially going to NXT.
I want to see
the rumor, the dirt sheets.
I want to see the Tonga twins from WOW, Women of Wrestling. They've been gone since their exit on social media. They kind of severed ties with WOW. And I kind of like them on WOW. And we actually ran into them at the ECW arena WrestleMania weekend. And I was like, hey, you guys are great. And I know you're not in WOW anymore. I hope to see you on TV soon. And they were like, yeah, watch for us soon. So like, I don't know if they're going to report to NXT soon, but they'd be great as well. Like they're Tonga, they are what they said, Tonga twins.
Come in to save the women's division.
Yeah, bring it. Let's go. Bring all the Tongans.
Kai's Samoan as well, isn't she?
How many more kids Rikishi got? Umaga got. All of them got. Fuck, man. Just they have a whole fed.
Yeah.
There. Like imagine you just start up like all the big names. Just that's them.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. But yeah. I'm excited. I forgot what I was saying, but Roman and the Tribal Nightmare main event. Maybe they bring out Metro Boomin from those commercials. Maybe he plays them out, or like Future. I don't know, some crazy like Atlanta crossover. Give the Snoop Dogg remix of Downstate's thing was pretty bad. So maybe Metro remixes it better.
Yeah.
So we'll see. My version was pretty good. So maybe Metro does something similar, like trap beats or something. Yeah. But the Snoop one was kind of weird. But yeah. Anyways.
Well, shall we get into some NXT?
I think so.
The final NXT on USA Network.
Yeah.
Crazy. Pour one out.
Pour one
out to USA.
I see a tweet from Vic Joseph with just a gif of someone taking a bow. Now, Vic, please tell me that's not meaning you're taking a bow from NXT. I didn't get that vibe from tonight's program. I think he means USA.
There was a bit, though, when he said, like, me, Book, sometimes Wade, like, goodbye.
I hope that's not the case. I'm not starting any rumors. I just saw him tweet this, and everyone's like, oh, he means goodbye to USA Network and a new start to CW. Hope that's the case. Please do not take that in any other way.
It will be who could be commentary if it's not. It will be CM Punk.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't see. I would not like it without Vic and Book. They've become the voice.
And you really didn't like Book.
I know.
Sorry, Vic for quite a while.
I know he's grown. He's gotten a lot better. Yeah. He's like really good. Like he could be doing main roster at this point. I think he did
briefly, didn't he? He did Raw for a while. Yeah,
he's good. He's a good mix of like new school, old school, because he'll drop like pop culture things in there, but then like he's good at the calls. I really, and then him and Book like bounce off each other. Pretty funny. Book doesn't need to really do much except just go wow.
I think it's definitely helped like just the more they've worked together, their relation. I think it was so jarring when they started because it just felt like a square peg in a round hole or whatever you say. Like, but over time, when they've clearly got to know each other and know how to needle each other as well, I think they've worked pretty well.
The two little bookends.
Or maybe I've just been beaten into submission.
That's most of NXT 2.0 stuff. I just finally like, I've been here since the beginning, so I support you. most things I watch on this show. But we start off the final NXT from the USA Network. We start off with Kelani Jordan putting her North American Championship on the line against Wren Sinclair, who comes out with the no quarter catch crew. And we get Wren XT chants from the crowd here.
This crowd, I know it's the same crowd every week, but really into Wren, it seemed. She's really got herself over with this character she's been doing with the NQCC, because they were all over her chanting the whole match.
Yeah, they were also chanting WREN, Wren, and just people cheering for her. There was some good grappling here from the two of them with different pinning attempts and counters. Eventually, Kelani hits her with a corkscrew plancha, and then in the ring, the execution, but like the facebuster version, like Edge used to do, and then goes for the splash, but misses it. And then there's a gut wrench, and then followed by a butterfly suplex as the catch crew on the outside are like, yes, look at her hit suplexes.
It's Miles on the outside who's going like, Charlie, did you see that? She's been doing that move we've been teaching her.
So she hits these moves, and then eventually Wren dives, but to the outside, but Kelani moves, so she lands on top of them.
This was a pretty cool shot because it was kind of the NQCC giving Kelani a little bit of shit.
Yeah.
And then from out a shot, Wren just flies in.
But they catch her instead. And then back in the ring, Kelani levels her down and goes up and hits the split-legged, one-of-a-kind moonsault for the 1-2-3 to retain.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty fun. I think Kelani is the right person to have this championship right now because I think she's been just having pretty solid matches with everyone. It feels like the kind of I like the sort of open challenge kind of gimmick where you have a title just defended pretty much every week. And Kelani just keeps getting better and better. I liked her. She does this sort of 619 arm drag kind of thing that looks pretty nice. And she's got a lot of like quite innovative moves, but also taking a lot from clearly RVD and
Edge
and other people who, I think makes quite a nice and exciting and current style in wrestling. And then Wren's no slouch in the ring either. And I think she had been wrestling a little bit before NXT. But when she first came in, just seemed so bland compared to everyone else. And I think this NQCC run with her has clearly gotten herself over because the PC loved her in this match. And she's been a little highlight for me. She's always getting a little laugh. And I think the wrestling's good as well. So I thought these two gel together pretty nicely.
Yeah, like Wren was just a bland, annoying character, and now she's the annoying on purpose to them, but it's helping the group get over and like doing comedy chops and getting all that stuff over, but it is working. So, but the wrestling is there. So doing the suplex spots is funny because it's like that's what they've been practicing or whatever. So she's hitting these moves, and she came up short, but like a good fight. And Kelani's been getting better and better, and I still feel like she's going to eventually turn, and I think that'll be such a more way to express some of the like, I don't know, character she can get out of herself. I feel like she'll be a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I think it'll be a slow turn. Something on Raw it's like with Bianca and Jade kind of just getting a little more arrogant every week, where they're still baby faces if you want them to be, but I can see at the point them like turning them off. And I do get that sense of a little kind of maybe a bit too goody two shoes and a little bit of arrogance there from Kelani, which you could definitely amp up when you need to.
But fun opening match. We see some clips of Trick Williams on the CW33, some news channel hyping up NXT going on the CW. He's at a football game. He mentions that I'm gonna whoop Ethan Page's ass just like
the same internet as us for one of the interviews, didn't he?
Maybe he was using the computer mic.
Yeah.
Sean wearing his cowboy hat. Shawn Michaels in the hat, covering his eyes.
Yeah.
In the dark. What a badass, Shawn Michaels. But yeah, they're all excited. We start off with this NXT press conference that we kind of go to throughout the rest of the episode. where it's kind of shot weird. There are people there that are supposed to be like asking questions to the superstars who come and go. So we start with Ethan Page, and someone asks about like his reign and Trick Williams, and he mentions that it's not been Trick, but it's been me that's been carrying this brand on my back. And then someone asks him, will CM Punk as the ref be a factor? And he said, no, he won't be a factor. And in fact, I'll make sure I talked to him earlier today, and kind of mentions that I don't have any more time for these questions, and says, I'm going to worry about me. So you should be happy that I was even here for you. And then he walks off with the title. We kind of get more of these, but
yeah, I saw what they're doing with this press conference. They're really trying to make next week and the move feel like a bigger deal.
Yeah.
And it's one of these more sports orientated changes we've seen in WWE recently. We've seen as the show goes on, the results from previously in the night being thrown up in a graphic. They kept on having like last night, they kept on doing like breaking news as a new match is announced or something. And they're trying to get more of that sort of sports feel. And I got this was with the repeated press conferences throughout the night, just something a little different than, a face-to-face, a contract signing.
I just find it funny because this is a kayfabe worked press conference, which is pretty much what they do after their PLEs.
Yeah.
Where's John Pollock? Where's Brandon Thurston asking these guys some hard-hitting questions? Yeah, I see what they were doing. I think maybe it was just shot a little weird, that it almost looked fake. There's real people sitting there, but it just looked kind of
I think it just didn't. I certainly feel it when we get to the closing segment, but lacks a bit of pizzazz.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Doing it like this.
Yeah.
It lacks a bit of that pro wrestling show business.
Just have someone cut a promo like
to it.
Yeah, I don't know. Just like, why didn't Ethan Page just start the show and talk shit?
Well, I don't know if this will be a regular thing, but I just sensed it was really trying to make next week's feel special.
I get that.
Doing a little bit of a different setting.
Yeah. We go backstage. CM Punk is here at NXT. He's rocking a Jade Cargill shirt. He's hanging out with Javon Evans. Don't know what they were talking about here, but I'm sure he's giving him advice. He's like, I fought Randy Orton once. A few times, probably. And he probably lost. So I don't know what advice he gives.
Javon Evans was born in 2004.
He
probably missed all of Punk's run. Like, when did he start watching? How old do you reckon?
Okay, so he's born in what year?
2004.
Oh my god!
So, like, I reckon most people are.
No, he loved his AEW run.
You reckon? Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like, I reckon most people around 8 when they start watching wrestling.
Yeah,
something like that.
Wow.
So we're then talking 2012. So he was watching his stuff, CM Punk with the growth on his ass.
I don't even know if he. We don't even know if he was watching yet at that time.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, he loved his AEW run.
Although he knew about Tensai, didn't he?
Right. Yeah. Right? Okay. Yeah. Don't question Javon's knowledge.
So
he knows about
like
Tensai.
11. Okay, he got a couple of years out of Punk there. Then.
Right. Yeah. Just in time.
But Straight Edge Society. Sorry, what? Nexus. What's that?
He missed WWECW CM Punk.
Yeah.
The Prince of Punk. That match with Shannon Moore. He might probably missed that too. Here's Javon Evans hanging out with CM Punk, and Trick Williams comes in and kind of says like, hey, Punk, I want to talk to you. You're the ref. And Punk says, yeah, I want to talk to you too. I'm going to call it right down the middle, as we always hear these special refs. And Punk is like, I know Ethan's going to try to cheat, and I know that's not your style, Trick. So I hope you don't do that. And if you do, then I'll take the same measures into you. I'm not going to side with anyone. Punk does, in fact, though, say, I do kind of hope you win, but that won't sway my decision. If he wins, I don't have a problem raising his arm. So there's no favors given. And Trick says, I appreciate that and thank you. So
they were hitting it over the head pretty hard.
Right down the middle.
Cheating thing this week, which makes me think that No, I think Paige will try to win by cheating, and then Javon will Trick will kick him in the balls and win.
We kind of saw that.
I think
tonight.
Trick will cheat to win.
We saw something similar in a match later tonight of that kind of storyline. But they definitely were trying to go over this. But I think I don't know. I still think Ethan will try to, but I'm not necessarily thinking Trick will. And maybe Punk doesn't catch Ethan Page cheating.
Yeah,
that's always how good of a ref can he be?
Will they bring back the ref cam from SummerSlam?
Oh God, I hope not. Punk should have it since he was the one wrestling who was right, but he should wear the Shawn Michaels short shorts with his dog. Be nice. We go to Grayson Waller Effect returning to NXT. Wow. Look at this. Grayson Waller, the Aussie icon, coming back to NXT. Another superstar that has beaten me into submission. I think
you a fan now?
I think he's pretty funny now. I think he's coming to his own. And I know they're doing I know he's doing like an indie event. They're letting him wrestle like in Australia at some event. I'm blanking on what the name is, but I think that's pretty cool and big of him to like do that kind of stuff. So I know he comes across as one of the most unlikable people, but
he's probably a super nice guy.
Yeah, I have a feeling that like it's like he keeps that straight to the vest there, but he's probably a good one because he really upset this crowd here. He got a big laugh out of me as this promo. So the Grayson Waller Effect is basically his Miz TV. And he starts off, he's in the ring with Austin Theory. And we get some big welcome back chants here from the NXT crowd. And Waller's reply is, that's so cringe. I actually can't wait to leave, though. And the crowd just gets quiet. And then all of a sudden, they're just booing him. And they don't stop booing for quite a while. I thought that was pretty mean, but pretty funny from Grayson Waller. He then says that Austin Theory and Grayson are the best wrestlers that NXT has ever produced. We're the biggest stars they've ever produced. I don't know if that's quite true, but to their knowledge, they are. And they're continuing to boo. So Austin says, if you make boo noises, you're trash. Some people stop.
Most of them still boo. Didn't they?
Never stop booing. We are trash. Boo. Waller says that he is doing so well on the main roster. He doesn't like NXT. He doesn't have to come back here, but he's doing so well that they even built a PLE around me in Australia, referring to that show, a few months ago.
Yeah, Chamber, wasn't it?
Right, yeah. They then say, but it'd be great to come back and win some titles here in NXT. And that's what leads us to our guests on the Grayson Waller Effect, Kurt Cobain and the Power Ranger, and out come Fraxium, the tag team champions. This is where they don't like being called Kurt Cobain and Power Ranger. But Waller says, hey, actually, I got to tell you that I think you two would be great on SmackDown. You'd be a great addition. Very exciting to watch. But as individual competitors, we've seen that you're not really a tag team. You're just pretending to be one. And this is where Fraxium bring up that, hey, we watch SmackDown and you guys have been like, at each other's and we're wondering who's going to backstab who first kind of thing. And Grayson and Theory are like, I can't believe you're saying such awful words. Eventually, Waller says that, we have this match and we're going to take these titles. And it doesn't matter if you try to do your flippity dippity doodah stuff, including and I quote, springboard 630 Spanish pretzel. And Axiom's like, what? And then they talk about how...
Oh, he's probably trying to think, what would that look like?
He's like, 630, I could do that. Frazier brings up that you could call us the Grim Reapers of the NXT tag division. Every team we've beat, they've split up. The Wolf Dogs, Chase U, fucking everybody. And when we beat you, you guys will break up too. So don't get it twisted. And Grayson says, nah, we're going to give you the rub, mate, and take those titles. And that's the Grayson Waller Effect. And Frazier brings up, why is it the Grayson Waller Effect, not the Grayson Waller and Austin Theory Effect? Ooh. Theory says, yeah, my name's not even on the thing. Waller's like, well, I had this before you on NXT. And this was all...
He was like, copyright.
Yeah, I trademarked it. It took me a long time. This is when Theory decks them, and it's a big, not really a big brawl. They knock them down and hold up the titles. So these two teams will face on the second week of CW in St. Louis.
Yeah, I quite like the playing up the tensions between both teams. That definitely plays into the show later on in the main event. Whether or not we'll get any payoff next week. Is it next week or
no,
St. Louis?
It's St. Louis, yeah.
St. Louis. I'm not sure. But yeah, I find Waller very entertaining. I think it's it's difficult in wrestling these days to be there's a weird line, isn't there? There's heels that are just bad guys, but we just love them and they're cool. And then there's people that just get go away heat. And you've got like, it's very difficult to try and play a heel. And I think it's something that MJF's done pretty well, where you are just unlikable. And I think Waller is very good at it. He does get a few laughs here and there. Just his voice is grating, but I think it's actually very effective. And I don't think he's bad in ring either. Austin Theory definitely...
Yeah.
It's still not there, is it?
He comes off as like a bro, as like a Chad, as like a, I don't know, something's still not there.
And it just doesn't quite land as much. I think the tag team is probably the best thing for him.
Yeah.
Because it does bring out that side of him a little bit more. But yeah, I think Waller's been great.
No, I actually thought this was pretty funny, and I'm looking forward to this match. I think it could be pretty fun. But we will get a A-Town Down Under match later on tonight, as we'll find out. But we go earlier today, the Metaphor, Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson, and Ora Mensah hanging out when Lexis King shows up and they get all defensive. And he goes, no, please, I don't want to fight. Please, I just want to talk. He says, I could have attacked you right now, but I didn't. And this is when I was distracted by his ridiculous lineup. He's got the like 99 Jericho blonde ponytail mixed with whatever this like
dyed
fade
like darker and darker
just for men.
So it's just like black.
Oh,
it looks
man.
like
holy.
It looks like Sting's face paint, you know, when he does like the neck.
Ridiculous. Oh, bless him. He goes, I don't want to fight you. I want to settle it in the ring tonight. And I know what you had to go through life and all the hard lessons, and you were looking for guidance. I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. And you were looking for guidance, and that's why you chose violence. But my father would want me to be the bigger person. So tonight, no cheating. May the best man win.
Yeah, they were bringing in both of their dads, because I know Oro brought up that a few weeks ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's like, lol, your dad's dead and
right,
didn't do anything.
So, yeah, a sincere promo from Lexis King. But coming from this guy who looks like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see where this goes. We go to Hank and Tank backstage, walking down the hallway, talking to the camera. They say, we used to look up to the Good Brothers. They're former IWGP tag champs, TNA tag champs. Look at them shouting out other wrestling. What a new era of wrestling, WWE. Yeah. They say, but the OC, the Good Brothers, cost us our opportunity at Gold here. So tonight, we're going to get them sugar, spice, and everything not so nice, says Tank. And we hit first and we hit it last. Honk, honk.
They're good at they've been given the Aaron Sorkin walking promos quite a lot, haven't they? And I think they're good at them. Tank especially.
I really love Tank's
has a great
promo.
Energy about him.
Yeah, Tank's got some charisma and some like
it's
pizzazz.
very 80s, isn't it? It's very like the coked up muscle heads from the 80s that would just shout wild nonsense.
We're gonna kill you.
It would be entertaining.
Yeah.
And I think not that I'm suggesting Tank is on any substances, but it's got that energy.
Mojo Rawley.
Yeah,
energy, but better. Yeah, way better. We go to our next match. Karmen, Petrovic, and Brinley Reece teaming up to take on... Oh, no, sorry. This match is happening later, but they're backstage. And Ashanti the Adonis is walking by with his rose. And Karmen asks him, hey, who was that girl you gave the rose to? He's like, I don't know. And he starts eyeing up all the other women in the back area here. And Brinley is talking about like, oh, you know that match cost you... Sorry, the rose thing, talking to that girl and the kiss in the crowd. You were distracted, Ashanti, and that's why you lost your match last week. And Ashanti's like, girl, you weren't getting a rose anyways, and then continues to walk past her. So Brinley's like, oh, okay. He sees Tatum Paxley in the corner playing with her dolls and her hair, acting all weird and creepy. And he goes, oh, you a freak? Well, me too. You don't scare me. You excite me. This broke me. I continue, though. He then walks by, and I forget what he says, but at some point he goes, I don't know who I'm going to give my rose to. I don't know what's going to happen, but Adonisly, miracles don't happen twice. Adonisly.
Wow.
Yeah, strap him up. Put the rocket to Ashanti the Adonis. The Adonis. This was so funny. Bold move to use the word freak, especially this week with all the Diddy stuff going on, but I fucking howled at this.
I really enjoyed like how he was entertained. Like I'm thinking back when I was at school and
careful.
like, you know, like I think the older you get, maybe your tastes and what you find attractive kind of broadens, right?
Sure.
And when you're at school, like everyone like tends to just like the stereotypical hot girl,
right?
You know. But there was this one guy who was very popular who would just be like, I'm gonna chat to this weird goth chick, and the goth chick would always just be like, why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to me? I got that vibe here, and it was kind of funny.
I'm getting the vibe that they're setting something up with Ashanti and Karmen because of the way she was asking, and like
maybe a little jealous.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, why'd you give that girl the rose? Like, why didn't you give it to me or something like that?" But I thought this was so funny with him just like him brushing off Brinley, like, "Girl, you're not getting the rose," and then this is continuing again. Smartest man in NXT knows where all the ladies at. It's a bachelor gimmick, I guess, with the rose. I don't know.
True. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Golden Bachelorette.
Yeah.
It's on right now.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't watched it.
How's the lineup? You haven't watched it.
The only thing I've seen is the clip on Twitter. So last time was
Golden. So it's just a bachelorette with a bunch of.
So before it was the Golden Bachelor, and he's got a bunch of old ladies being like, "Hey," you know. Now it's the Golden Bachelorette, and the first clips I've seen are like a bunch of these old guys in the house, like the nice house you get to stay in. And these old guys are like, they just remind me of like our dads or something who are like, wow, look at this fridge. Wow, look at this barbecue. Wow, look at and people are like, you're not there, you're there for the women.
All in the New Balance.
Yeah. Wow, look at it. Just like it reminds me of I Think You Should Leave. He just wants to use the
swing, the
zip line. Anyways, carrying on. We go to an insert promo here from the Good Brothers as they make their entrance when we come back from break. They say Hank and Tank wanted to make friends. Well, we don't like friends, and we don't have any friends, and we don't want any more. And if we did, we certainly wouldn't pick you two nerds.
What are they talking about? Their whole fucking career has been about having a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Just being in the background of better wrestlers than them. That was the whole genesis of the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
But they're still living off of.
Yeah, but okay, Carl Anderson fought Okada. So this match starts off Hank and Tank versus the Good Brothers here. And we get a bunch of corner clotheslines where all guys are brawling. And Hank and Tank get the advantage where they're running and hitting multiple clotheslines and splashes in the corner. Eventually, Good Brothers gain control and Gallows is back in. And I don't know what was going on with Gallows, but he's hitting a bunch of roundhouse kicks lately.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. He lost a lot of weight, though. I'd say he looks a lot better. Like
he's been developing.
It's NXT.
Yeah.
So Doc Gallows is hitting roundhouse kicks like no one's business. He eventually tags back into Carl, who runs into a boss man slam from Hank, which I thought looked pretty good. Shout out Hank for a 1-2 count there. Eventually, Carl spinebusters him and spinebusters Tank on top of him. And then they go for what Book calls the Magic City, which no Book, you'll be able to go to Magic City in about a week or two for Bad Blood in Atlanta. But the Magic Killer is blocked. And eventually it's Hank who picks up Carl. Or is it Doc he picks up here? I think it's Gallows. He picks up Luke Gallows for their weird power slam. Forgot about this. The running headbutt power slam.
Headbutt into the power slam. And I'm not quite sure where they're headbutting, but
I'm not quite sure. Love Hank and Tank. Don't love the finish, but they did pick up the win on the Good Brothers here. Good for Hank and Tank.
I actually thought this is a pretty enjoyable match. I'm really enjoying Hank and Tank as a team. I think Tank Ledger especially is, really exciting to watch. We were kind of talking as we were watching the show, and we're like, he's kind of got the charisma and the promo skills of Matt Menard, Daddy Magic.
But he looks like Rhino.
In the body of Rhino. And it works. And I definitely think he's pulling Hank up to his level. I think he's like doing all the yelling thing, and Hank is like seeing it and copying it and is getting better and getting more personality out of him for it. I think for big lads, they work at a really good pace. Like I like their quick tags with the the repeated running like freight trains in the corner.
Yeah.
And the finish is stupid, but at least it's hit with enough speed that it kind of looks impressive. I think they need to adapt it and come up with something a bit better.
Yeah.
But I think they've been good. And the Good Brothers, I groan whenever they're on TV, to be honest. I'm completely over them. I don't know why they're still in WWE.
Yeah.
But I did think they put their working boots on against these guys, and they put them over. So
They did put them over. The Good Brothers.
So yeah, I'm enjoying Hank Tank. Kind of want to see them with the Creeds. Just some big lads smashing shit and
I want Rhino to join Hank and Tank.
Okay.
Because they kind of have the body type, well, at least Tank does. Tank reminds me of like a 90s WCW wrestler. Like, you just got that vibe. Again, Mojo Rawley, but better is what I get from this guy. Hank, we've always liked, the security guard, right?
Yeah.
He's definitely improved. I kind of like these guys. I want to see them succeed for sure. And Good Brothers, keep up with those roundhouse kicks. We go backstage. Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander, and Javon's talking about the Viper, Randy Orton. And he says that his match in 2 weeks in St. Louis is the biggest match of my life against Randy Orton. And I'm so excited. This is when A-Town Down Under walk up and they go, oh, what are you going to do to Randy Orton? What are you talking about this year? There's no way. And they kind of just start running him down. And they say, you definitely won't beat Randy Orton by listening to this Uncle Cedric here. And they're like, why would you say that about him? Like, this guy's great, says Javon. And Theory says that, like, you kind of remind me of myself, but you won't get anywhere listening to him. And Cedric goes, hey, this guy's 20 years old. And like, he'll beat you. He'll be the future. And Javon says, oh, hey, is that Kevin Owens over there? And A-Town Down both get very scared. And he's like, just joking. Like, kind of.
How long have they been feuding with Kevin?
I didn't realize they're still feuding, but I guess that's still going on.
I guess so.
So they say, what better way to get Javon ready for his match than having a match? So they challenge him to a match. And later tonight, Javon and Cedric versus Waller and Theory.
Nice.
But yeah, Kevin Owens was not there.
Kevin Owens wasn't there.
No. Yeah.
Will he be in St. Louis?
Will he? Why?
I don't know. His mate's there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Randall.
NXT legend, Kevin Owens.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Still got my KO shirt.
You do.
Busted out. We go to our next match. Lexis King versus Oro Mensah. These two said they're going to be gentlemen in this match. And if Lexis...
No funny business.
Yeah. They start off with some real graps back and forth. Oro with a very beautiful Shelton Benjamin-esque T-bone suplex for a 2 count. Eventually, though, King comes back with the kicks of his own and then starts bullying him, kind of grounding him, boring Lexis King stuff, but does hit a super kick for a 2 count here, and then eventually goes to roll up Oro and puts his feet on the rope. And as the ref doesn't see it, counts 1, counts 2, but Lexis breaks the pin up himself and shakes his head and just goes, no, I can't do it this way. Not this way. As Oro rolls him up, puts his feet on the ropes, the ref doesn't see it, counts the 1, 2, 3, and Oro wins.
A little weird. Yeah. I'm not. So what? Suddenly Lexis King is having a bit of a conscience because Oro had a heart-to-heart with him about their dads.
Yeah.
I don't know. This guy's been such a dick for so long now that I can't believe that he'd suddenly just turned.
Well, he agreed. He shook his hand. No funny business.
Yeah, but he's a piece of shit. Like, he can lie. People shake their hands.
I mean, Oro did.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I don't know. I also hate the foot on the rope thing. I just don't
understand.
I know you've got to suspend your disbelief when you're watching wrestling.
Yeah.
But I don't understand, like, no, your feet are on the ropes. I can't move now.
Same with the tights, even. The tights, too, is like,
The tights I get to an extent. Like, it's a little bit more, like, leverage that you pull in. But it's...
Okay, well, what about putting the figure 4 in reverse? Come on. That shit doesn't hurt.
We'll try it.
Same with, like, whenever DX teamed, they'd hit the super kick, and then the guy would always fall down whenever Sean hits the super kick. But whenever they're teaming, no, I'm just going to turn around and get a pedigree.
Yeah.
Suspend your disbelief, I guess. But... yeah,
foot on the ropes, so it's not one I can get on board with.
Yeah,
like it's a Lexis King match. Maybe
I like Oro though.
I like Oro.
He's good.
But yeah, I'm Are we looking to turn Lexis babyface?
Fuck
I don't
no.
think so. I kind of feel this will be forgotten about next week.
No. We're getting another match between these two eventually, whether it's next
They're
week or
just
the week
going to
after.
both keep trying to cheat.
Eventually, it's going to be what, like a cheaters
A
match?
cheaters match.
There's such thing. Cheating's allowed? How would that even work? Weapons, feet on the ropes.
Dave
roll
Grohl
up,
doing the theme.
learning to walk again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You ever watch that show, Cheaters? Did you have that in
No.
UK?
Is it good?
It's on one of the Roku things now. It's like
Okay.
Cops, where it's like someone would be like, "Hey, I think my partner's cheating on me," or whatever. It's like, all right, so they get a whole like camera crew and they find out where they are, and you try to catch them in the act on if they are in
Right.
fact cheating. So sometimes they pull up to like a hotel and bust in and be like, "You're cheating,"
Right.
and then
right.
sometimes it'd be like, "Oh, actually they were just going to see Spider-Man 3 or whatever." Like, oh no, they're not.
Either way, the relationship's over.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe you never heard of Cheaters. It's good
I
stuff.
don't know. There's a lot of shit out there.
We go to our next match, talking about cheaters and bad people. Ridge Holland taking on Riley Osborne. If you're following the Chase U lore like we have very attentively, Ridge Holland turns on Chase U, destroys Chase, sends him in the hospital, then fights Duke, beats him up, put him in the hospital next to Chase, and now he has to face Riley and Thea alone, the only two members of Chase U. So Ridge makes his entrance, and Riley jumps the bell here with a tope and starts attacking Ridge in the ring. The bell is rung, so they start to fight, but it's Ridge who fights back with a series of knees to the face of Riley here, which looked pretty nasty. And then there's Ridge just kind of in control here, when eventually Riley kind of kicks him on the apron, and they did a real interesting camera shot here, or spot here, if you will, where it looked like Thea maybe was like, could have swiped his leg or costed him to do something. She's instead yelling at Ridge, and I'm not quite sure like what they're going to do with this, but it ends up with Riley going for the shooting star. Ridge tries to put his knees up. Riley scouts it, so counters the counter.
He lands on his feet. Yeah.
Runs the ropes. It goes for a jump, but Ridge catches him and turns it into that DDT and pins Riley pretty quickly here. And then after the match, Thea is just screaming at Ridge, trying to like fight him almost. When Riley gets back up and starts to fight Ridge, there's a big pull apart, and this is not over.
Yeah, I found this kind of interesting that of the three, it's Riley Osborne who's had the most on Ridge.
He's just so
like
angry.
He kind of attacked him before the bell here. He got the better of him at the end of the match. Yeah, he lost the match, but he wasn't demolished here. I would have thought maybe Duke would have been in this role, getting a bit more out of him. I thought we were going to get a bit more of an advancement with what's happening with Chase U, or is there going to be a turn, or like we're just waiting for Mr. Chase to come back?
That's the big like return, right? Like, okay, so Duke Hudson tweeted a photo. Thea Hale, Ridge Holland, steel cage match. Give Thea what she wants. So Thea versus Ridge is what he's presuming, but that's not going to happen. We kind of said it last week. We need like Andre with the big Stone Cold like pop, where he just comes back and kills everyone and faces Ridge and has a match with him and beats Ridge. Like, that's what should happen. But instead, I feel like they're going to still try to push Ridge into maybe a bigger, I hope not a main event role. I'm not necessarily sold.
I want something super. I want Ridge to just go full evil here, and it was just the 20th anniversary of Lost.
Okay.
And in season 3,
you want Ridge to get lost.
Spoilers. Season 3.
Whoa, ears. Cover your ears.
Sawyer and Kate are caught by the others, and Sawyer's in a cage, and one of them is just beating the fuck out of him and won't stop until Kate admits that she's in love with him.
Whoa.
And is just like beating him almost to death. I think we need this with Riley and Ridge, but maybe Ridge is like, Thea, you got to join me. You got to leave Chase U.
I feel like that's
and
where
if
it's
you
going.
don't leave Chase U, I will kill this man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel like eventually it does go there, but she's just screaming at him and screaming at him. Like, I don't know, like maybe she does turn heel and joins him. I don't know how it would make sense or why.
I just thought for the beats of the story, it just made more sense for Riley to be killed tonight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I want a big Duke return or Andre Chase return. Like I want Chase U to get their revenge.
It's got to be the Andre Chase showing up in
School
the bus.
Yeah. Hopefully. Book it, Sean. We get a video sent in from The Miz.
Yeah.
Miz on NXT.
Every time he's on the bump, it's a good day.
Yeah, we get that commercial every time on the network.
The bump doesn't even exist.
They play the same commercials on the network, and it's the bump. Yeah.
It's like Roman Reigns with his big dog theme. It's Titus O'Neil, ooh-ah, ooh-ah, ooh-ah. It's a lot of Vince McMahon, and you can see the network has been neglected for a long time.
Yeah. It's weird, but they keep playing the bump, and it's got The Miz on it. The Miz is here, though, and he says next week it's going to be Miz TV with Tony D'Angelo and Oba Femi. Can you imagine that?
All right.
Yeah. Pretty wild. Those two.
So we're gonna. Is it now? We go to the thing.
In a little bit, or did I completely skip that already?
I think we skipped over that.
Oh, did I accidentally skip that?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, that's possible. But so basically, the second week in St. Louis is Tony D and Oba Femi, but next week is the contract signing with them.
Well, it's Miz TV.
Yeah, sorry, Miz TV.
So
right.
We
did skip over it. I went to that. It was before the Riley match, so it was right before this.
Okay.
We can go into that.
Let's do it.
Well, the Miz is going to be on NXT, so I'm very excited. But we cut to an abandoned warehouse at first, but we've revealed the family. Tony D, Stax, Crucifino, and Rizzo are at this big abandoned warehouse that's been turned into a gym, and they showed the clips of him last week saying, "I'm scared." And they say, Stack says, "Don't worry. We're going to whip you into shape. You're going to beat Oba Femi. We're going to make sure you're ready to climb that mountain." And we see a very Rocky-esque montage here of working out in the gym, climbing ropes, running. He's taking sledgehammers to cinder blocks. He's like, I think he pushes their truck.
Pushing trucks, yeah.
He's pushing a truck. He then gets in a boxing ring, and then he gets beat up by some guy here, and then he has the memory of losing to Oba, and then he's like, no, and then he gets back up and he knocks this guy out, and then the rest of the family show up in the ring, and they're like, the Don is back. That's all it took.
So I've only seen Rocky 1. This is Rocky 3.
Yes, we got a lot of people messaging us from last week. The I'm scared is, I think, Rocky 3.
Okay.
Or is it Rocky
Ivan
4?
Drago, is that?
I always thought Rocky 4 was Ivan Drago, so maybe I'm wrong. I'm getting the messed up.
I've not seen.
You've only seen. Yeah. I feel like I could be wrong, but they're using Rocky obviously for this.
Yeah. So no, that's what I'm just trying to wonder. Is there any kind of like interview thing between Rocky and his opponent from that they could recreate with Miz TV?
Sure.
Rather than just doing your classic Miz TV. Is there some influence we're going to get from the Rocky series with like a pre-match interview or something that they had in those films?
CM Punk's going to walk by and just be like, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this? Yeah.
Bullshit.
It's like, okay, Vince is gone, but we've still the Rolodex of movies that WWE know.
We did our review and we talked. We're like, dudes love this movie. Everyone loves this movie.
It's Rocky and it's Old Yeller.
They just like always
all they do. That's all they reference, and
it's a classic.
We're doing our. I'm halfway through our Cena watch for tomorrow's show, and Triple H does a whole promo about Rocky, and this ain't the movies. You feel like you're Rocky, but you're not Rocky. We had WrestleMania this year. We had not only Sami Zayn Gunther was Rocky, but Trick Williams did his old Rocky thing as well. So it's
Rocky 3. I'm scared.
I thoroughly enjoyed Rocky. This is a very popular franchise. But WWE, there are other movies out there.
What other movies should they go off of? Like, I'm thinking this guy's in a mafia. We could do, Raging Bull.
Okay.
Right? De Niro.
Yeah.
He's clearly doing De
Is that
Niro.
$1 Million Baby? Isn't that Rocky?
$1 Million Baby? Is that where, like, someone dies?
I can't remember.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, think outside the box.
This wasn't bad. Like, they didn't make it cheesy. Like, I think the way I described it, it made it sound like it was more serious than.
I thought it was done. I've enjoyed this the last few weeks with the family, kind of getting kind kind of trying to get Tony to conquer his fears. I see him winning this title.
I do too.
Especially when they said Oba is close to being the longest North American champion, longest reigning North American champion of all time.
Right.
And I wonder if they have it not happen.
Like he's someone who you could move up. He's someone you could, I mean, maybe not yet, but
I'd keep Oba down
yeah,
for a bit. But yeah.
Yeah, I do think it would be more interesting with Tony beating him.
Yep.
Just to freshen things up, but that's just me. We see that's when we got the Miz video saying, I'm going to have them be on Miz TV. We go back to the press conference, and this is where Oba Femi is now there. And he's asked about, hey, what did you think about the Miz saying you guys are going to be on Miz TV? And he's like, yeah, I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they ask him, 2 questions. They go to ask him a third, and he's like, no.
They're like, what about Tony? You know, you saw that training video? And he's like, yeah, I saw it. And Tony's broken. I can see it in his eyes. And then he's like, I'm not answering any more questions, and leaves. So.
It reminds me the football player who, you know, didn't want to do presses. And then they were like, you've got to do presses. And then he's interviewed. And he's like, all he said was, I'm only here so I don't get fined. And that was his answer to every question. And here he going to have to look it up. But yeah, this was kind of Oba's energy here was like, no, don't want to be here.
No more questions.
Marshawn Lynch.
Okay, yeah. We go to a picture-in-picture via satellite, via another room in the building here. Promo between Wesley and Nash Carter, a.k.a. Zachary Wentz.
So they said, and before this start, they said this was moments ago. So like during the commercial break, we were kind of, I think, trying to get them in the same room or something.
Before break, we saw them getting mic'd up for this. And then when we came back, they're like, oh, actually, something happened during the break. We're going to play the footage. So to set the scene here, it's Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle. Yeah. It's, who was this? When the UFC guys had, can he hear me? Is my mic on?
Yeah.
This is what they're playing off of that yet again. But they're talking to each other, Wes and Zachary. And you hear, I think it's Nash. He's like, oh, wait, can you hear me? And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, well, you're a little bitch, which is the first bleep of this promo. And trust me, there was a lot in this one. Zachary is like, Wes says, I don't have anything really to say to you. I don't really want to talk to you anyways. Like, I don't want to talk to this. I don't want to do this. And Zachary is like, yeah, it's because I beat the fuck out of you at No Mercy.
Wes starts by being like, with a smirk. Oh, how's Trey? I don't want to talk to you, but tell me, how's Trey doing?
Zachary says, yeah, I can't believe you did that. You flew all the way there to like attack your own friend in the parking lot. Like, yeah, you are a little bitch, and I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you again. Again, they're censoring every time they're swearing here. They then say, I think it's Wes says, oh, like the time when we fought in that hotel room and I sent you through the wall. And Zachary's like, no, we both know it wasn't like that. We were just like messing around. Like, I guess he's referencing a real life,
instant
something that happened to them. And then it's Zachary's like, nah, just shut the fuck up, dude. And then Wes says, oh, okay, well, don't worry, because next week is it a last man standing match or no holds barred or street fight, same, whenever.
Chicago
street fight, of course, deep dish. Wes says, don't worry. Next week, you'll see what I'm going to do to you, but you should make sure Gigi doesn't watch what I'm going to do to you. And Wentz is like, excuse me, what did you just say? Don't you ever mention my fiance again.
Keep my fiance's name out your fucking mouth.
And this is when Wes goes, oh, yeah, Gigi. Gigi, good game, Gigi. This is when Zach rips the mic off, leaves the room, and Wes is just chilling like, yeah, I got him. Yeah, I fucking got him. And then some producer's like, yeah, he left though. And Wes is like, what do you mean he left? Yeah, he left. He's coming after you. He's like, he's coming after me. So Wes takes off his mic. He leaves the room. And somewhere halfway between wherever he was and wherever Zach was, they start to fight. And there's a big kind of pull apart here. And it's all because of their street fight next week on NXT.
Yeah, I think it was very Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins.
What did you just say?
But you know what I really liked about this was the, and I noticed this with a few things on this show, is attention to detail that has normally been lacking in WWE. And something as simple as, okay, we want to have this segment and we want these guys dropping F-bombs throughout. If this was presented as live, you'd go, okay, well, why is it being bleeped?
Right.
You know?
Yes.
This just happened moments ago.
Right,
We're going to show you the footage, and we've been able to edit it because there's swearing, and we apologize for the language and that kind of thing. So I quite like that, and we got bits later on. I'll point out with the Giulia translation as well. So again, it tried to give this a more realistic presentation, I think. However, I do think as well, part of it felt to me a little like that I think you should leave sketch where it's like, and you can say whatever the hell you want. And it's like, wait, we can swear? Fuck.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm going to say fuck. No, you shut the fuck up.
Sorry, parents.
You fucking shut the fuck up, you fuck. It felt like a little, okay, we're just swearing for the sake of swearing now. But overall, I quite liked it.
Yeah, I think I did too. Like, it got some genuine laughs because it's very rare. We hear bitch in wrestling all the time. It's Okada's catchphrase, but hearing
when Andre Chase does it, it's very censored.
Yeah.
Whereas this was more like beep.
Yeah, I'd say this was the most closest to like, and I think this was done like, hey, look, we're so edgy. Yeah. Do whatever.
Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. So they're staying on the C-Dub, but yeah, same thing. C-Dub's got some
in general.
C-Dub's got some, stuff. They used to have, I don't know.
Opening of Raw though is going to be like, welcome to Monday Night Raw, motherfuckers.
Seth fucking Rollins and RVD's blazing and Randy's just punting people.
Yeah. Shit in
good old days. Oh wow, real good old days. I liked this a lot. It reminded me, like I said, of the Seth thing. The one that they based that one off. I want to say is Cormier, I think, but it was good. And like the swearing and don't mention my wife and all that, or fiance or whatever.
This was the best Wes has come across.
Yeah,
I think in this, I thought he came across slimy and just a bit of a prick here, whereas I found him really trying to be a heel. Up until now, and sometimes actually still coming across quite likable. Whereas here, I thought he was a lot nastier. I wasn't blown away by their first match. I hope the street fight.
I think it will. I think it will be pretty good. Yeah, they had an unfortunate hiccup with that table bump, if I remember, from No Mercy. But I feel like this one, with some of the cool stuff that these guys can come up with in their matches, we're going to see some craziness. We go to Vic Joseph, Booker T, and they say, shout out the USA Network for all the great times and the great memories and the years here and the NXT USA Network era. We get a great video here with highlights and memories. Starting things off, trivia question. First match televised on the USA Network on NXT. What was it?
Io Shirai.
Yeah.
Against.
I don't even remember who she fought. I have to look it up. I'm cheating.
I can't remember her opponent.
Oh man, someone's got to answer the show. Someone's got to answer this for me because I don't remember now. I want to say it was Rhea. No. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'll find it out. Do some
more memories here.
Yeah.
This memory video wasn't shy to show Undisputed Era.
Yeah. Very quickly, it got a boom. Keith Lee as well.
A boom for the Undisputed Era. Keith Lee,
who's obviously not with the company anymore.
Yeah, we got Bianca, we got Charlotte, we got Karrion Kross, we got Finn Balor when he came back and turned on Johnny and was a heel and then won the title and all this stuff. Rhea Ripley winning the title. That was a big USA TV moment. Damian Priest hanging out in the hot tub.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good moment. The Way, Johnny and all them. Dexter, Indie Wedding. LA Knight becoming the star that he is. Carmelo, Trick. Undertaker showing up. Ray, Cena, Becky. Zombie Ref. Wale. Pat McAfee.
Wow.
NXT on the USA Network.
Okay. Shall I do... I'm going to go through the whole card.
Okay.
Of the first match was an NXT Women's Title #1 Contenders match.
Okay.
Between Io Shirai, Mia Yim, Bianca Belair, and Candice LeRae.
Wow.
We had Cameron Grimes versus Sean Maluda. Remember him?
Okay.
Roderick Strong versus Velveteen Dream for the North American title. Pete Dunne versus Arturo Huas. Remember him?
Oh, he
We
was
loved that
lit.
guy.
Yeah, he was sick.
Xia Li versus Aaliyah. Oh, Xia Li. Why was it? We needed Aaliyah on this. Come on.
Yeah.
Or Robert Stone being hit by the
tank.
The tank. Leo Rush versus Oni Lorcan for the Cruiserweight title.
Wow.
And the main event was a street fight between Killian Dane and Matt Riddle.
Oh.
That ended in a no contest.
Weird. Leave the memories alone.
Yeah.
And don't change a thing. They really breezed by that 2.0 era, huh? They really didn't show a lot.
They showed a bunch of Braun Breaker, didn't
they? They did not show a lot of 2.0.
They showed Braun winning the title. I think there was a glimpse of Dolph Ziggler in there.
I'm just saying, you saw that video. You go watch this video. Yeah. They did not show no paint splatter there. No people being what gimmicks did we have?
Rick Steiner in a fucking cage.
Yeah, don't act like it was all sunshines and lollipops on the USA Network on Tuesday nights. No, we had some shit too. Yeah. So, but yeah, good times on the USA Network. It didn't really matter for us because we use a VPN to watch on the network anyways, as true Canadians do.
Yeah.
I believe NXT wasn't even aired last week at the right time in Canada. I wonder if it was the same for this week as well. Again, we don't have cable. So.
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, rest in peace, USA Network, NXT partnership. I don't want to say rest in peace. That's not right.
It's
dead.
It's been great.
Speaking of great, Ava in her office is with Lola Vice when Jada Parker walks in and goes, "What are you doing here?" And Lola's like, "What are you doing here?" She called me first. And Ava says, "I've called you both. You both hate Fatal Influence." Did I get it right? And you're going to have a tag team match, and both of you are going to face them, and that's going to be next week. And both of them are like, no, we can't do that. And Jada's like, I'm not waiting for you. I'm not your friend, and walks off.
There was so much with Jada and Lola, so much finger pointing.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
It's getting in there. They're really like
with their
attitude and saucy. Yeah. Can they coexist?
Probably.
To take out Fatal Influence. Yeah. We go to Karmen Petrovic and Brinley Reece taking on Wendy, Choo, and Rosemary when Booker T, for some reason, starts bringing up Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, what was this about? Why was he talking about it?
I didn't get why he was referencing him, but we're in Toronto, so please, Book, don't bring that up. Yeah, please don't bring that guy up. Isn't he a cheater? Doesn't he rig the books, allegedly?
Yeah,
I don't know. We're just sour that he never got on that plane to Toronto. We get this is then Booker's also asked by Vic, "Hey, Book, are you a part of the Xing Xing gang, the Xing Xing club?"
Is it Swing Swing?
Swing Swing? No, that's what I call it.
Oh,
it's Xing Xing, I think. Swing Swing is Wayne's World.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Swings are what we had at work.
Swings?
Yeah, like shrimp wings.
Just God, stop. What is that? A shrimp wing?
Well, it's like wings, like chicken wings, but they're shrimp,
right?
Deep fried.
This has Brinley Reece in the match, getting beat up by Rosemary here. Wendy and Rosemary keep tagging in as they beat down on Reece. There's a double suplex. Eventually, it's Reece who comes back with an honor roll clothesline to Wendy, tags in Karmen, who's back, and eventually, she's trying to tag Karmen, but they keep attacking her. But this is when Karmen is distracted when Ashanti, the Adonis, Tahuti himself, comes out with a rose. He's looking for someone to give the rose to, and Karmen is very distracted by this. She jumps off the apron, goes up to him, and is like, "Hey, what are you trying to do? Why are you trying to give out these roses? What are you doing with these roses?" Meanwhile, Brinley's trying to tag, and she can't because she's not there, which she turns around and she's hit by the deep below or so below the, what is it called? The wing clipper. Someone uses this move.
It's Garza used it, the wing clipper.
Yeah, I kind of hate this move. And they pin her just like that. So Karmen realizes, oh no, I forgot I'm in a match right now.
Yeah.
So Rosemary gets the win and the Sleepy Psycho as well. But the story here, I think Karmen is into Ashanti.
I think you could be right here. Why would you be so distracted otherwise with him coming out and giving his rose to someone else? I didn't think a whole lot of the match. I do like Brinley's, what is it, the honor roll?
Yeah. Well, at least Xavier called it that.
Yeah.
Buckshot.
Well,
kind of.
Yeah, it's the honor roll. But yeah, it's a bit of a silly finish. So I'm hoping it does lead somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, does this lead to Karmen using the sword to cut the rose?
Ah,
I don't know where that or how that would tie into things, but I just think that's going to happen at some point. I like a power couple in NXT. It's been a while, so put these
Shanti and Karmen.
I don't know. It seems like she's interested. More to come on NXT on the CW. We see CM Punk and Sol Ruka. Hell yeah, they're talking, but Ethan Page interrupts and says, "I need to talk to you." And Sol walks off. Ethan says, I've seen you as a ref, and I've been where you've been, Punk. I think that was our AEW reference there. And says, "I've worked too hard for this title, and I'm not in the mood for your drama." Punk says, "Drama? Me? My drama? What are you talking about?" He goes, "I'm not going to have any drama, Paige. I already told Trick, and I'm going to tell you. I'm calling it right down the middle. And if you're the man you tell everyone you are, then you get to prove it when I raise your hand next week. And in fact, if you win, I'll even strap the title around your waist." Wow, it's pretty impressive.
So yeah, we're gonna get some cheating, aren't we?
Getting all the cheating, dirty lion
too
cheating.
much talking about it being straight down the middle.
Yeah, but never mind that, because your boy is bouncy. NXT does this like crossover thing where you hear the music before you see it. So Ethan Page is just standing there all angry, and it's like bouncy as we cut to Javon Evans and Cedric making their entrance, but we go to break. When we come back, press conference continuing. Fatal Influence are here, and they're asked about, are they worried about Jada and Lola next week? And they go, "What?" And they're asked, which two of you are going to compete? Do you know who's going to be in the match? They say, "We do." And then they kind of pause and they say, "But we're not going to tell you who that's going to be. And don't worry about those two." And then they go off on Kelani Jordan as well. They say she's not deserved to be champ. And this is when Lola and Jada show up to kind of break this press conference up. And it's a pull apart here. Lots of pull aparts on NXT. So Jada and Lola versus Fatal Influence next week in Chicago.
Okay.
Now, you were asking me the big question of what's the tag team name of Roman and Cody?
Yeah.
Tribal Nightmare. What's Lola and Jada's tag team?
Come on, man.
Yeah, I tried to throw that. I did try to throw you under the bus there. You caught me. Yeah, I did try to. I was like, I'm not going to be the one to say it. So I know that Jada is like Grand Theft Auto. So like, is it to Street Heat, Latina Heat, but Street? Okay. I don't know. That's the best I got.
What's Lola's thing? Because she's also out the mud, isn't she?
Mud. Right. Yeah. I don't know. Her thing is literally like her graphics are all like Grand Theft Auto
shooters.
Nah. All right. Kind of in the direction I think you were gonna go. I'm not sure what you just said there, but anyways, you got better name than that. Let us know. I liked what it was. The sword lady, the sword surfers.
Swings.
No, Soul and Karmen were the soul surfers.
Okay.
The sword surfers.
Yeah.
I like coming up with names for different wrestlers. But
okay, let's ask ChatGPT.
Clearly, we didn't do a good job on this one. Oh my god. The ChatGPT answer you?
They're terrible.
Oh, okay.
Vice and Virtue and Heatwave.
Yeah.
Vice and Virtue would make sense if she was with Diona Perazzo, wouldn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Virtuoso.
She's in the Jersey Wives or whatever now.
Yeah, Jersey Mob.
We see our next match here. We get Javon and Cedric taking on A-Town Down Under here in this matchup. And we get this, sorry, I forgot where we were at, but we get Waller hitting this huge side Booker T kick there that Booker loves. He's like, whoa. He's so into Waller's Booker T-esque kick here and says that this guy's a superstar. Waller is beating down on Cedric here. He hits the through the legs elbow for a 2 count. Cedric finally tags in Javon, who comes in with a tope after tope after tope. And Booker T goes off on Javon here and says, this kid is amazing. 20 years old. This kid is prolific, says Booker T. Prolific. Javon Evans. There's then a huge flying clothesline. And then it's Waller and Theory who come back with double elbows. They're beating down on Javon. This is when Fraxium come out and they try to get involved here. And somehow, in this a little bit of an overbooking, I'd say this was a bit of a stretch, is somehow they're on the apron and they get shoved, which then causes like Javon to get.
No. This was, so Theory and Waller were pissing off Axiom.
Yeah.
So Nathan Frazer went on the apron, because as Javon was climbing, and Axiom pulls off Frazer, being like, "What are you doing? There's a match going on."
Right.
And pulling him off, he knocked off
Javon,
which cost him the match.
And then that allows Waller to hit his jumping, running unprettier.
Yeah, it's like flipping unprettier. Looks pretty nice.
I mean, he tried to go for that stunner. I always love that.
Oh yeah.
He tried it, but it was blocked. Javon's like, I'm not falling for that. Javon did watch wrestling 2 years ago and was like, I know you're going to go for us.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you're outside jumping through the middle rope, doing a roll. You must be doing a stunner. But somehow he had a better.
Come on, man. We live in a world where you get pinned by putting your feet on the ropes.
I like the running on prettier. But yeah, A-Town Down Under win this match. And it's all because Axiom accidentally cost them.
Yeah, and then
Javon.
So we end the match with Waller and Theory laughing and looking united as a team, and Axiom are arguing because Axiom is pissed at Frazer's like, look, you cost him, and Frazer's like, well, you knocked him off. So growing the tensions there. I thought it was actually quite a clever finish to this, and I think it's going to be a really good match between these two teams.
I thought it was a little hokey with both of them running up, but you're right. The one guy is pulling the other guy. It's like, wait, what are you doing, man? You're interfering, which then causes it. But you could see it being set up for so long with them waiting and everything. But I love Javon. I agree with Booker. He's prolific.
Do Waller and Theory win these titles?
I'm going to say no, but I think the match could be pretty good, actually.
Do we see Axiom splitting up soon?
No. Okay. They're going to main roster as a tag team, I would imagine. I hope so, because they're just too good.
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain and the Power Ranger. We go to the press conference. The last part here, sort of. Trick Williams, he's asked, what's it going to take to win? What does it mean? He says it means everything. He says there's only ever been 25 NXT champs, and only 5 to 6 of them, I think he says, have held that title twice, and I'm going to be one of those guys. I'm winning this title again, and I'm going to lead NXT into the new era on the CW. It can't be Ethan Page. It has to be me. Thought this was pretty solid. I think this was the only part of these backstage press conferences that actually felt like legit. I think it's just because he's a good promo, but he just was like, yeah, I'm going to win. And I'm leading. He had the flag. I'm leading NXT into the.
Yeah, I'd almost prefer if it was a little more, talking smack, like a little looser where they're allowed to improv and maybe throw these guys some curveballs with questions and then just edit it and cut it down for TV.
Yeah.
It's just the scripted nature of these things. Like, okay, the presses we get afterwards, and we often get quite softball questions from most of the journalists, but at least they don't necessarily know what is coming to them, even if they are like kayfabe questions. I would have just liked a little more keeping them on their toes a bit, and Trick would be very good at that, I think.
Well, we go to the last part of the press conference and the last part of this episode when we cut to Byron Saxton in the ring. Byron Saxton.
Byron still got a job.
I forgot he was still here.
He is Mr. NXT. He's been here since the beginning.
Yeah, I always forget that he's here. But we've got 2 tables in the ring. We see one with Roxanne Perez and the second with Giulia and Funaki. That's right. Another Funaki sighting on NXT. We get some questions from people in the crowd here. I guess there's more of these question people here sitting down. So they ask, and
Sorry, Byron Saxton, for someone who's been in the company as long as he has the shortest Wikipedia page I've ever seen.
I mean, what's your favorite Byron Saxton match?
What's
he done?
That's it.
That's it. That is a pretty. What has he done?
I mean, he's called Raw and SmackDown and NXT and wrestled for a bit. And Brian Jesus Kelly is his name.
Brian Jesus Kelly, Byron Saxton,
BJK.
Well, he's in this segment.
Sorry.
There's some people, and Roxanne gets asked a question, and right away she's kind of short with him, like, oh, are you assuming she's beating me for my title? Like, why would you assume that? I'm winning this. There's then that question asked to Giulia
he starts by asking Giulia, like, essentially, what is your plan for your reign? And she's like, and Roxanne interrupts, like, wait, you're writing me off already?
What are you talking about? Giulia speaks in Japanese, and then she has Funaki who translate. On top of that, they put like subtitles when Funaki was speaking in English.
So again, this was another kind of attention to detail that we wouldn't normally get. Giulia's speaking in Japanese, and you see Funaki is making notes of what she's saying. And then when it comes to him, he reads his notes, and it's been transcribed to put on subtitles on the screen. Like we've had the, I think Imperium did the live subtitles at one point, didn't they?
Yeah, I feel like there's been a few.
Which worked, but it's like, well, how does that happen? How are you getting live subtitles? Whereas this was kind of showing translation in its process, which just made it seem a bit more real.
You could just do the Shibata route.
Yeah, well, that's
I saw this crazy AI thing that you can use now that uses it takes your own voice and converts it. So you just say something and then it says it in your voice in another language. Pretty crazy.
I did find it funny because Giulia spoke for quite a long time.
Yeah. And
then the translation was like, I respect Roxanne, but I'm going to be NXT Women's Champion.
It was
like, you spoke a lot longer than that.
I definitely got like, wait a second. She said all that? It's like, wait, are you sure she said that? Yeah. It's lost in translation when the director is like yells at him and then he's like, hey, what did he say? He says you're doing a good job. Yeah. Really? I think he may have said some other things there. Giulia's translated from Funaki and basically says like, this is a new era and you're going to pass the torch, whether you like it or not, to Roxanne. You came in here at 20 years old, but it's now time. And Roxanne then rebuttals and says, you know what? I knew about you, Giulia. In fact, I knew about Giulia all before you. I watched you. I've watched every single one of your matches, as a matter of fact. And I know that you've come here for me. So you're the one chasing me. And this is because this is the title that is the one that matters, the NXT Women's Championship. And it's the brand that I built from the ground up. When she's interrupted, someone's got a question, and they play it off like, wait,
we're not taking questions.
We're not doing questions. Who is this? That doesn't sound familiar. When the screen pops up and we see Stephanie Vaquer right here on the screen in NXT, and she says that it doesn't matter who wins the match in Chicago because whoever does has me on the other side waiting as NXT goes off the air. But yeah, we got a interesting women's division going on in NXT. Shawn Michaels is cooking with this. We got Giulia versus Roxanne next week, and now Stephanie Vaquer making her presence known.
Yeah, interesting deciding to do that on this week's show rather than, having her come out after the match or whatever and having that moment. But yeah, pretty exciting that this women's division is cooking, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the idea of the segment. I thought it was a bit flat in execution, and I always appreciate trying things with foreign speaking talent to make it work. But maybe this wasn't the setting for it. It just felt they were, as I said, this show, it really felt like they were trying to go for more of a sports feel. And sometimes I want a bit of a pro wrestling feel. And I want a bit of a more nastiness and getting in each other's face and a bit more showbiz with it. Whereas I did feel this segment, especially being in the main event segment, fell quite flat.
Yeah. I did not like this segment. Yeah. I think it was an odd choice also to kind of show Stephanie for the first time. Like, wouldn't it have been so much more impactful? She just came out after the match.
Yeah.
And said, you beat so-and-so, you beat so-and-so, but I want you now. Boom. Cool. Instead, we're just adding this, like, why is she going to show up next week? Now we know she's going to show up next week to like help, I guess, a ratings bump or something. Maybe they're like, instead of making this a surprise, we're telling you she's going to show up. Essentially,
unless it's maybe in a way where it makes you question the finish, because I do see a Roxanne and Stephanie match happening. Whereas if they didn't tease her, you could maybe just see Giulia winning this title. Whereas I think it shows like maybe Giulia isn't getting this, and we are getting a Roxanne match. And
I didn't like the way this press conference thing throughout the whole show was done. It just looked a little too hokey for me.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't look real. It didn't look real enough to be sports, even if they're trying to do that route. It didn't even look as real as their own press conferences when they do real, quote unquote, real ones. It just looked phony. And then the final segment with the like translations and the talking, I'm not knocking that they're trying. Finally, I'm actually happy that they do foreign language
and they should keep
stuff.
on experimenting, especially in NXT, which is the developmental. How can we make this work?
Talent. I think there was like another way to do this.
I completely agree. I just think if you're putting together your like video package for the match on next week, like a hype video, are you using anything?
No, it's just them sitting down and talking. It's like weird.
The most successful was the WrestleMania press conference this year. That was different. Obviously that was on such a huge scale.
Yeah.
But there are ways to kind of make it work.
Yeah.
If you lean more to that. Yeah, I didn't like this finish. But I wonder, what do you see main eventing? Because kind of leaving this as the end of tonight's show, this felt like the bigger match than the Trick Page match. I thought, even with Punk's involvement.
We just referenced earlier that like the first thing I remember vividly, the first thing on USA Network was Io Shirai coming out. I think the same thing could be done with like the CW having like Roxanne or Giulia come out as first, but I don't know.
Or CM Punk.
Yeah, that also like
it's a good way to get people right away. Like,
personality. Here,
better watch this.
Fair enough.
Maybe. Yeah. But I also, for what NXT is all about, I completely agree. Having like your women's division kicking off things is
both are deserved to be the main event, and it doesn't necessarily matter to me. I think both would.
I'm looking forward to this match way more, the Giulia Roxanne match, even though this didn't hit with me.
Yeah, I'd actually again, we've been saying it for the past few weeks that NXT is great. We're on a roll. We got some big things coming, but we've been in this like holding pattern because we know big things are coming and we don't want to burn all the stuff, the good stuff yet. So we're kind of waiting and building all this hype and everything. So this week, I wouldn't say it was a miss because I'm still excited for next week, but I think they could have done a lot of a better.
It wasn't like a crazy go home show.
Yeah.
Just everything is like just.
It didn't feel like that.
And you're ready for the big match.
It didn't feel like that at all.
No,
it felt like it was half the show was pre-taped. It felt like there was, I don't know. It was definitely not my favorite NXT, but next week is looking stacked.
My favorite match was probably Hank and Tank, to be honest.
Yeah. Like again, there was stuff that leads me into next week and the future. I'm like, okay, cool. We're switching things up, but this was we had to get out over this to get to the good stuff.
I am really excited though for next week's show. Obviously it's in an arena. It's going to feel different, but then once we are back in the studio, is it just going to feel like this NXT again? Or are we going to have some changes? Is CW going to give them more leeway with certain things? Like we saw the teases of the F-bombs on this show, and we get the impression that WWE going to Netflix is going to be a lot looser. I think we've seen in the product in general, it's been a lot looser. CW might want more of that kind of adult edge to it. I don't know. But I am curious to see how it shapes and changes the show moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll help. Like it's doesn't CW have wrestling? Like I know they had WoW, but they have what, NWA and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't think anymore. But
wasn't it on their app? I think it's something like that.
I am looking forward to next week. We got Giulia versus Roxanne. Let's do a little predictions here. Who is walking out as champion? Does Giulia start the new revolution?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Rox, and I think we get the Vaquer match with Rox, and I think a rematch, maybe Halloween Havoc. Well, I guess Halloween Havoc would be Vaquer Rox, and then maybe in the new year, Giulia gets it. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. I'll go with Giulia.
Yeah.
And what about Ethan Page and Trick Williams?
That I can see the change.
Yeah, I see
because I don't see who else there is to face Ethan Page who's interesting on the babyface.
Yeah. There's a lot more. Pete, you could have Pete come back for Trick. I don't know. There's way more things going back.
Wes and Trick, I think, is.
It's so wrong with him as a heel,
I know,
right?
I know.
Yeah. I agree. I think Trick is taking it. I'm trying to remember what else is advertised. We got that tag match with Lola Vice and Jada versus Fatal Influence.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lola and Jada should win. I guess not, because they're not.
Yeah,
partners.
I can see them winning, and not thinking they'd get along, and they do it. It's the Ariana Karmen Petrovic thing all over again.
Yeah.
We have Wesley versus Zachary Wentz next week as well in the street.
Oh, right, of course.
Wes gets his win back. I
guess.
guess.
I think so. Yeah.
And we can have a rubber match at Halloween Havoc, maybe.
Sure.
We'll do the 2 out 3 falls, won't we? At Halloween Havoc. That's the way these feuds go.
What, 2 out of 3 falls?
Yeah.
At Halloween, they're gonna spin the wheel and make a deal.
No, I mean these kind of feuds. You did with Ciampa Gargano. You did with Gargano Adam Cole. You did Adam Cole.
Right.
Like
yeah.
And
2 out of 3 falls was NXT's kind of calling card for a while. Yeah.
Staple. Yeah. And then the Miz TV with Ober and Tony.
Oh, can't wait for that.
I know you're excited.
Well, there you go. That was NXT. The week after that, we got the Orton and Devon and the Tony Oba match and lots of fun stuff. The next weeks, I'm definitely excited. It's a good time for NXT. I'm excited to see what they got cooking.
Yes.
That's Shawn Michaels.
We do have some feedback on our Facebook group. Please give us a follow if you haven't already. Just type in Poison Rana on Facebook.
Yeah, there's a page you can like, and then you can join the group, and that's where we post out feedback threads.
And we start with Megan, who suggested Miami Street Heat.
Okay, well, I watched Wow Win of Wrestling, and there was just a title change where my honk mother truckers got beat by Miami Sweet Heat.
Oh, come on. I know you watch it all. Come on, be more original.
Miami Sweet Heat on Wow is they're pretty good.
Yeah,
they're pretty good. Yeah.
Well, he says NXT's Swan Song on USA was a base hit with some newsworthy happenings. I'm going to skip right to the heart of the matter. Stephanie Vaquer. It seemed like a layup that Giulia was going to beat Roxanne, but Stephanie showing up in the 11th hour throws everything into question. I hope the powers that be don't get too cute and do a screwy finish to justify keeping the title on the Prodigy. This has to be a new beginning. Giulia's English is quite good and will only get better with more reps. She did pause here and there during the closing segment. Tony D'Angelo should be the guy to beat Obafemi, and this promo proves that he should. The Where Zach split screen had plenty of colorful language, very Jones Cormier. Next week should be a home run.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Megan. And then we go to Manny from Pacoima, who writes in, the Dark Angel is upon us. La Primera is arriving. I find it funny that in kayfabe, they made Stephanie fly all the way to Chile to interrupt the presser just for her to fly back to Mexico, where she's currently living.
Yes, it did say she's in Chile.
Interesting.
On the map, on the graphic.
Weird. Whether Roxanne retains or loses, I really hope we get to see her versus Stephanie before her time is up in NXT. I watched Revolver's show on Saturday, and I just have to say that Zach and Trey give off such insane aura whenever they're working for that promotion. With the Fatal Influence setting up their sights on Kelani, who do you see challenging for the title? Do you see Kelani taking all 3 in separate title defenses? I'll answer that, and it's Fallon.
I could see her running the gauntlet, starting with Jasmine, then JC, and then...
I think he meet in separate weeks.
Yeah, separate weeks. And then I'd like to see Fallon be the one to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Manny, for writing in, and Megan for writing in, everyone out there for listening.
Thank you, USA.
Yeah, long live USA Network, NXT. Appreciate everyone listening and checking us out. You can find more of our stuff, Poisonrana.ca. We're on all the socials. Search Poison Rana in your podcast app. Hit that subscribe and check out our patreon.com/PoisonRana. $5 a month to get Best Match Ever Machine Guns, Best Match Ever Europe Part 2, Jason Takes Manhattan, Champ is Here Episode 2, Bad Blood 97 review, and so much more. It's only $5, so go support your favorite independent, small-time, soon-to-be double Canadian podcasters. You have to listen to Behind the BD for the info on that one, but yeah. At Poison Rana Pod, Twitter, Instagram, and everything. And like I said, the next few weeks of NXT are big. Will be live 10:15 p.m. Eastern time here on the Post Wrestling YouTube, audio to come out after that. You'll be live Thursday on Poison Rana around 3 p.m. to talk about Grand Slam. So happy Grand Slam, everyone. And you can find us on all the socials. I am at the Brady.
And I am at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. You little bitch. Isn't that what Zach called him?
Ahoy!
Never.